Warning, this video will contain spoilers of Willy's Wonderland. You've been warned. It's not very often that I come on here to brag about a new horror movie, but this Valentine's weekend, a horror film that I have been looking forward to for the last year or so finally came out. Starring one of my favorite B-movie horror actors from back in the day, Nicolas fucking Cage.
Welcome to Willy's Wonderland. You spend the night cleaning Willy's Wonderland, and I will pay to have your car fixed. Deal?
If you're asking yourself, what are you talking about? Nicolas Cage is an A-list actor. Yes, he is. But he has starred in some of the most iconic horror B-movies of all time, like Vampire's Kiss. Not to mention the year 2000's very memed movie, The Wicker Man remake.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes!
The premise of this movie is very fucking awesome. Now, if you've ever played one of the very popular Five Nights at Freddy's video games, this is very close to that. Pirate Cove. The Pirate Cove one is the one I'm really paranoid about now after watching him run across and kill me. I don't know what it is about the rabbit. This fucking... Look at this guy. Just staring at me. Like this. Open that door. I'm gonna get you. Fuck you. Rabbit. Or if you're like me and you grew up in the 80s and 90s and you went to Chuck E. Cheese all the time, this brings back a lot of warm fuzzy feelings mixed with terror. Nicolas Cage is a silent protagonist who gets stuck in a podunk nowhere town. A town with no internet and no ways of reading credit cards.
Oh, cash only, huh? Oh, and in advance. Yeah, I don't take no plastic credit cards. Oh, that over there. Yeah, we ain't got no internet in Hayesville. Now, so all the ATMs, they just don't work. Yeah, we were gonna get it, but they just didn't.
And the only way to work off his car bill is to work one night at Willy's Wonderland Pizza.
Here's my offer. You spend the night cleaning Willy's Wonderland, and I will pay to have your car fixed. By morning tomorrow, you come out of there, and your ride will be ready for you right there. Deal?
Now, I know what you're thinking. Five Nights at Freddy's. I'll hand it to you. It's exactly what it is. But it also mixes that perfect nostalgia of the old-time pizza restaurant Chuck E. Cheese. The animatronics look very, very similar to the things that I saw growing up as a kid. Chuck E. Cheese nowadays, if you haven't seen it, have done a whole makeover of what their animatronics even look like now, if you even call them animatronics. Back when I was a kid, the animatronics looked very reminiscent to what this movie looks like. As you can see in these birthday pictures, the animatronics don't look very happy that they sang the Happy Happy Birthday song about the 100th millionth time that day. And neither do the employees. So as Nicolas Cage starts cleaning up the restaurant, things start to happen that he's not expecting. Or maybe he is. That's the thing. You never really know why Nicolas Cage's character is such a fucking killing machine badass. You just don't know. He says nothing. The only thing you know about him is that he likes to drink soda. And when he plays pinball, he looks very much like me when I get drunk and play pinball. Now you may be asking yourself, what's the deal with the animatronics? Are they evil? Are they possessed? Are they malfunctioning? The answer is actually a little bit of all three of those things. The story is, the animatronics were actually normal at one time. The actual evil thing was that this restaurant was owned and ran by a serial murderer. And all of his employees that dressed up in their different costumes when they would come out to see the kids were also serial murderers that he recruited so they could have this pizza restaurant to attract children and families so they could kill them.
The families would be treated to a birthday cake and a private show by Willy Weasel.
Then, once they all knew they were going to be caught, they all performed a satanic ritual to where their evil souls would go into the animatronics. Seems a lot like an evil doll story that we all know. And once their spirits start haunting the animatronics, people start disappearing around the town and being murdered. So, what does the town decide to do? Not take up arms and destroy the place. They decide to make a deal with these possessed demonic animatronic machines that as long as they stop harming the townfolk, they will, in turn, they will bring back unsuspecting victims to the pizza restaurant so they can in turn eat them. It's a pretty twisted and also very interesting story that there's this whole lore behind the animatronics and that they weren't just possessed the whole time. That was what I was kind of expecting going into this movie. Ooh, haunted animatronic machines. But no, it blew my expectations away. So fast forward to present time, Nicolas Cage is cleaning the restaurant. And every time he goes on break, the animatronics seem to come alive. And when he comes back, the stuff that he had just cleaned is all fucked up. Not only does he seem kind of annoyed by this, but when the animatronics do decide to attack him, he turns into John McClane and yippee-ki-yay motherfuckers their brains all over the place.
I'm gonna feast on your face!
What I do love about all the animatronics is they all do have their own varying personalities. Just like I remember from Chuck E. Cheese. There's the gorilla, there's a hillbilly, there's an ostrich, there's like a deformed mongoloid baby. There's a Mexican alligator.
They're so mean to me. They call me ugly and they make fun of my colorful skin. I'm trapped in this body. I just want to be free.
And then, of course, there is the very big and scary Weasel Man we all know as Willy. Now, I don't know if this was to give the movie more padding. There is also a very tropey scenario thrown in this movie where these teenagers go in to try to save Nicolas Cage's character and burn down the restaurant. But in turn, most of the teenagers are really, really fucking stupid and they break all the rules of horror movies, in turn dying off. There wasn't one part of this film I did not find entertaining. From beginning to end, I was fully invested in the movie and the characters, even the stupid teenagers. The fight scenes with Nicolas Cage and the animatronics made me just pumped up, made me super amped up. Like, yes, I cannot wait to see more of this animatronic ass-kicking action. If you remember when you were a kid, you kind of always wanted to go up there and mess around with the animatronics on stage. But of course, the employees there would never let you climb up there. And if you did, you know your parents are gonna fucking smack the shit out of you. I think we all as children, especially in the 80s and 90s, had some sort of weird feelings when it came to Chucky from Chuck E. Cheese. A giant rat running a pizza shop, kind of have these little enslaved friends in the back on the stage. It was always a weird vibe as a kid, but it was something that we all loved because they had pizza and video games. And I'm talking about real video games at that time. Arcade machines and real games. Not these coin-based slot machines that kids use nowadays. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie a 9. The only way I can't give it a perfect 10 is because the movie was shorter than I expected. It's only 89-minute runtime, and for a movie like this, and the lore behind all this movie, and Nicolas Cage's character, I just wanted to see more. And I know they say sometimes less is more when it comes to these things, but if there's not a sequel, I'm going to be so upset, because Nicolas Cage's character in this, and the whole lore behind the Willy's Wonderland pizza, it just is such a cool concept, especially the fact that they had a serial killer group running the place. And you know Willy's Wonderland, if it was like Chuck E. Cheese, there had to have been more in the country. And because it was founded by a serial killer, maybe the other ones in different parts of the country also had serial killers running them. So if you follow me on Instagram, I did tell you guys, don't even wait for the review. Just go rent the movie as soon as possible. This is a movie that I will be buying, and I do hope there's some sort of collector's edition for it where we get like a statue of the Willy's Pizza cast and crew, or all of them for that matter, or hopefully a replica of the pinball machine from this movie, which looked completely badass and fun to play. I really hope this movie gets more support and more people go rent it and eventually buy it, so there is a sequel for this, or something close to it. It really deserves it. This video would not be possible today without my patrons on Patreon. With your patronage, this video was possible. I was able to rent this movie without giving it another thought. Because even though I was extremely excited to watch this movie, I wasn't going to pay for it when it first came out. I was going to wait until it was on Hulu or Netflix for free. But because of patrons like you, Ivan, Mr. Goodyear, thank you very much. You made this video possible. If you guys want to help me out in a more personal way and help produce more videos like this, come support me on Patreon. I do weekly streams now, about 3 days a week. And more movie reviews and game reviews will be coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next movie review.